Let's talk about today the 4 types of interviews that no one prepares you for. And I say it because it's like you have that first impression, you have that first chance to make an impression, and sometimes you don't get a second chance. And a lot of times, based on the tone or temperament or personality of the interviewer, you may feel it went well and then you don't know what happened. So I just want to ground you and just give you the 4 types of interviews that you can definitely mess up if you're not on your P's and Q's. All right, so let's talk about it. So the first one is, this is the easy interview. This is when they already like you, like your resume and kind of like you. And I say it's an easy interview because 9 times out of 10, you might have had like a recruiter screen already over the phone. It's basically like, you know how you just click with somebody, like you meet someone in a coffee shop and like you just click. And you hear friendships even happening like that, right? Like you had like 10 minutes and met them at a party and then you guys just clicked and then it was forever after that. So this one is basically, it's a more, like I said, you click, so it's leaning more to like they really like your personality. And the reason why I say it's kind of subtle is because you're answering the questions correctly. Like it's feeling more like a conversation piece as opposed to an interview. Think about talking to a friend and you feel like, you knew them for years, but you're not really talking about your skill set or the job description. They're more like getting to know you from a personality phase. And this is where everything clicks. You feel like you guys got along. And then, you get off of the phone, you feel confident. You're probably even telling your friends like, oh, that interview was good. The recruiter and I, we click, we're aligned, this and this and that. And then 2 days later, you get that rejection email. And you're like, but I thought we was here. You know what I mean? I want you guys to be aware of that one because again, like I said, it leans more to personality. You always want to, even if you answer the questions that they're asking you, you always want to bring it back home and hone it into, it's kind of like, no one takes the jokes seriously. Like there's a time and a place, but the interview is kind of like not that time and not that place. So even if your personality clicks, you can still just make sure that you're drawing it back in and staying in line. The second interview I talk about, this one this is the level check. And I say this because you know how like they say like they're interviewing at your level. A lot of times the level check interview is an interview where if there is, say, a salary band, like say the salary is 90 to, let's say 130. And just on the way you answer your questions, because they're gauging you by the question that they asked and how you answer them, right? Now, again, this is a pre-screen or this could be like your first interview with HR. So they're basically, because they have this range in their head and they might not have honed it down and they might not have said, if it's between 90 and 130, they might not have wrote you and said, what salary are you really looking for? You want to always give a range, right? Not just give one set of the salary, depending on your experience. So this is where, based on how you answer your questions, they're also seeing the level that you're at. Because if you are going for, say, a junior role versus a senior role, there's a little question that they ask you and how you answer them. And I don't mean answering them like the typical answer, right? Like they don't want, not the AI answer, right? To be honest, because everyone's using that. They want the answer where like it tells that the answer is from your lived experience and it matches with what's on your resume, right? Like if you are managing campaigns all of the time and then the question is more so on IT and it sounds more technical, you still want to bring it back to the campaign style. So you're going to focus on how you manage stakeholders, the relationships, How do you manage the teams remotely, or what do you do in person? Are you setting up your one-on-one meetings? So this is where, like I said, even though it's high level screen, this can definitely impact how they pay you, your pay scale. The third interview is, this is one I call like the pressure test. This is where it's a lot of pressure in the interview. Like it could feel like a lot of back and forth. Think about like ping pong, right? They at the person and and then you rise up and you hit it, or like tennis. Let's say either one, because I'm doing tennis right now as well, so that's in my head more so than ping pong. Ping pong is more like you're kind of having fun, but tennis is more like you're kind of strategic, right? So like they hit the ball and you kind of want to catch it, moving back and forth, making sure like you're good to go. So this is where they're really seeing your level set. How do you deal with pressure? How do you, if say there's like, you have the questions in your head that most recruiters are asking you, or a hiring manager, but this is where like they're asking you another question on the spot just to see how you think on your feet. How do you navigate relationships? How do you navigate situations at work? How do you, do you escalate it, or do you calm everyone down? Like that's important when you're dealing with different sets of people, and especially different sets of personalities. So I call this one a pressure test, and it's also it's more like a STAR format, which is situation, task, actions, and then the results. I can talk about that in another video if you guys want, but most people know about that interview stuff. But anyway, this is where it can seem like a tough interview, and it's not really tough. It's that they're measuring your skill set. Like I said, think about that tennis match. They're throwing the ball at you, and then they're seeing if you could catch it. Or sometimes they're throwing the ball this way, and it could go to the other side of the court. Or this is where you're like running back and forth, but you still are catching that ball. And they're like, okay, she's quick on her feet. She's agile. She knows how to move and shape. You're not going to be, taken out of your level just to on an interview. So this is where they're more so testing you. And a lot of times people, like I know because I've had these interviews where like it's a STAR interview, or like it feels really intense, but and I felt like it's like it was 30 minutes and I felt so drained. And I'm like, oh my God, I haven't had an interview. It just felt like, how if you're going to get like a massage, a deep tissue massage, and it's like, hitting that muscle and then massaging it, and it hurts you, but it's going to make you feel better. This is why I said it's a skill set interview, and it's a pressure test. And a lot of times you leave the interview feeling uncertain, and this is the role that you wind up getting. Why? Because it's not about you answering the questions. It's about you were able to move back and forth and think on your feet, think quickly, and not sound like textbook answers, or like I said, the AI answer, right? This is more like making sure it's up here, right? That the mindset got it, right? Because prepare for an interview, you can, like I said, the STAR interview format, and you prepare for it. But it's different when they throwing that question out there just to see how you answer it. And they have these questions made up in their mind already. You just don't know that it's coming. So that's one. And then the last one is the fourth one, which is more like, it just feels like relaxation. It feels more like, I would say this is more like ping pong, right? Like it's not too intense, but it's also gauging your personality. It's seeing if you're kind of like a great fit for the team. Like so that they know like the team is very A-type. So they want somebody that may be a little bit more A-type, but a little bit more fluid, just so that way she's more, or he is more malleable with the team, as opposed to now if the team is, everyone is kind of like creative, they might want somebody that's a little bit more, not A-type, but a little bit more flexible in the sense of like, they can still say no. Like they know the importance of deadlines, but they're also flexible, meaning like this is not where, you're at work and you're known as like the company B. No one likes you. Want to still have a good relationship with your colleagues. This is where your promotions come from. It's coming from how you get along with your peers, as well as how your boss sees you. That's very important as well. And how everyone else that's in those leadership meetings, can they come talk to you? Are you going to flip out over little things? Or if someone sends an email that's very emotional, I talked about this in another video, how are you responding to it? Are you taking your time, or are you, in the chat and firing right back? Which is also that stops you from getting promotions and going to your next level. Because if you can't speak properly or own the room, then you're going to get unraveled too much. And when you're dealing with major and bigger brands, $5 million, $10 million, $20 million brands or scopes of work, they have to make sure that you're not going to go in there and you're not going to flip out. Like, you're not bringing Keisha. I'm sorry if anyone's name here is Keisha. You're not bringing Keisha into the corporate environment, right? You're leaving Keisha. Keisha has a place at home. It's not the time, it's not the place. So just making sure that you are, having the right temperament and attitude in the right room. So yeah, so I just wanted to talk about this. Like I said, these are the 4 interviews that, don't be fooled, and don't count yourself out if it was really intense. That might be the job that you get. And then you have those ones that is so easy and it felt more personality and conversational. And then 2 days later, you got that rejection email. Just because it's like, it's like no one marries a party girl. You know what I mean? It's like, come on. Like, yes, you can have a side that you like to party and have a good time, but it's like, come on. Yeah, so that's it. So if you like this kind of content, keep following along. I am doing my series. This is career strategy. My background is in fashion and e-commerce as well. I'm also, I'm a blogger on the side. That's my creative pursuits, along with starting up this YouTube channel. And I'm just having fun with it. And I want you guys to come along for the ride. Like, subscribe, and follow.